Hey everybody, Scotty Boy here. Today I'm at my shop and I want to demonstrate to you my Megatone Wezo ME-18 Harmonica Amplifier, which I've owned now for about 5 years, and some guys are questioning me about what makes this such a great harp amp. So hopefully I'm going to clear that up right now and tell you why. So first thing is let's take a little tour of this amplifier. And let me explain certain features on here. Okay, for starters, there's your fuse, on, off, and standby switch. It's on standby right now. Half power switch. Right now that's in the 15 watt position. That's in the 30 watt position. Tone. It's not just a tone switch, it's a pull tone switch, which gives you more of this high-end kind of breakup, like a Masco ME-18, the phase thing that they do. So that's basically what this does. Adds some really cool tone to your sound. Okay, next is the volume, which also has a pull volume pot, and it actually adds to your gain structure. So if you're playing at a lower volume and you want to get that punch, you just pull that up. So you don't have to crank this more to get the crunch that you want. Another option. Right here this is a pad control, and the best way I can describe this is it helps to control feedback, especially when you're pulling it down like this. It also adds like kind of a Piazzi kind of compression to it. Once you open this up, it gives it more. It allows it to breathe a little more, and you'll hear that. I'll demonstrate that. Next, one single input, but it's got the high, low impedance settings. So right now I'm playing through this Chrome JT30, and it's got a 50s CR black element, which is pretty screaming hot. So I set that on low, and it accommodates that mic a little bit better. If you have a crystal element and it's not 100% anymore, which a lot of them are like that, you can switch this to high. It'll help to match the impedance of that mic and kind of add to the some of the things that it's lacking as far as in punch. So without further ado, let me set this thing up over there so that I can record this while I'm playing, and that way now you're familiar with it. It also has this really cool line out right here. The ground lift switch is underneath. You can't see it, but trust me, it's there. There's also another speaker out with a setting for changing your impedance, speaker impedance, which I'm not using right now, but I do have two Jensen Tornadoes in there, and man, I love these speakers. They're smoking hot. I don't know if you can see the other one, but it's in there. And then here's a tube chart. That's what this thing's got. I do have the extra set of tubes that he offers. You probably can't see it, it's too dark. So let's go set this thing up and start playing. So as I make changes to the settings, I'll let you know exactly what I'm doing. I hope this doesn't fall off. Come on now. Come on. Gotta get this just right. There we go. Okay. Without further ado, all right. I'm using an A-flat crossover harp. Let's see, I'll start this thing on half power. The volume not pulled up and the tone not pulled up. And I'm going to set the pad at about 6. I'll put the volume, let's see, I'll start the volume. Remember, this is half power, so 15 watts. I'll start the tone at about 6, the volume at about 3, and the pad at about 6. Here we go. Okay. Remember, you're playing a quiet gig. Let's say you want to get a little more bite in your sound. Pull up the volume, gain, boost. I'm going to turn the volume up to about 5. Tones at 6, pads at 6. Cool. Here's a pad on 12 with that same setting. Now, another cool feature of this is you can pull that tone knob up. So right now I pull the volume down a little bit. Usually when you pull this tone knob up and it's on, you want to pull the volume back a little bit so you don't get any surprises. All right, so now I have the pull tone up at about 6, volume at about 6, pads at about 10. Let's crank that tone up to about 10. Volume. Ooh. Here we go, we're getting up to about 8, and it's pulled out. So let's cut back on the pad down to 2. Now, I'll push both of these back down again and get that pad up to about 7 or 8. And let's see. Oh. So now what I'm really going for here is kind of a cleaner sound. You open that pad control up to about 9 or 10, volume to about 6 or 7, and turn your tone up to about 8. No feedback. Get that volume up to about 9. Now we're half power still. I like it. Tone 10, volume 9, just on the edge of feedback. Oh, you got to put that mic right on it. But let's see how this pad works to control that feedback. I'm down to 5, 4, 3 on the pad. Oh, works nicely. But you'll hear what it does. Check this out. So now, let's go to full power. And I'm putting the mic, I'm playing through no effects, none. And that's, for me, that's bizarre because that's, my pedal board is sitting right over there. I am plugged straight into the amplifier. That for me is a first, because I like to use effects, but luckily I get a good sound in the shop. So now we're on full power. Let's pull the tone up to about 5, volume up to about 5, and the pad. Here we go. Pad back up to 8. That's plenty loud. If I go any harder than that, I'm standing right on the amp. The tone is up to about 8. The volume's at 8, and I'm starting to feed back. So I'm going to pull that pad back down to about 2. Plenty of volume. All right, let me cut this back, and now I'll pull out the volume gain boost. I'll leave the pad at about 6.5. I'm gonna turn this down though while I do that. So now, volume's at 5, and I got the gain pulled out. The tone I'm gonna put up to about 5, and the pad's at 6.5. Sound like a different amp, man. Different amp. Now let's crank this. Let me crank the volume up to about 6.5. Woohoo! I'm going to turn the pad down a little bit because it's probably going to feed back. I'll turn up the tone a little bit. So now I'm on 6.5 and 6 on the tone, and the pad is at 4.5. So there's a demo of the ME-18. I love it, and I can't say enough about this amp. I've had it for 5 years. I've had no problems. Anytime I have a question, I can call Dale and ask him anything about the amp. He's always there to answer the phones. And it's built like a tank. I have used the line out on gigs. It sounds phenomenal. It's got all original tubes in it. I have not touched any of them. I can't say enough about it. It works on small gigs, medium gigs, large gigs. You can mic it and line out, and also the line out can be used as, you can slave that to another amp. So to me, I mean, you get a killer sound with that. I'm not doing that today, but in the future, I'm going to demo it with effects and slaving another amp, and perhaps if I can get a PA, my hands on a PA, I'll line out into a PA to prove my point with that one. So without further ado, here's the amp. Now I'm going to pull up the tone, pull switch. It's going to add some of that mid and high end. I don't know what to describe it, but it just sounds really cool. So here we go. And we're on 6 and 6, and I'm going to pull the pad down to about 3 and get in front of it because I can't really hear what the hell I'm doing behind it.